Let's end this tutorial by talking a little bit about elements, HTML elements. Here is a document, an HTML document here, and it's composed of elements. Number one rule, the elements just exist between the HTML tags. So this is never an element. Number two, elements are based on tags. So if I have a singleton tag, with one exception, that's an element. So that's a meta element there. Here I have a break, that's an element. That's a break element there. And this is a horizontal rule element there. Those are all singletons. Now when I have tags that are paired, for instance the pre, the element starts with the open tag and ends at the end of the close tag. So that is the pre element. This here is a paragraph element, and you can see the rest. Here I have the HTML element, right? The whole thing. Here is the head element, and of course we have the body element. Okay, this requires a little explanation. This is the only singleton tag that is not an element. This is what's called a comment tag. It is completely ignored by the browser, so it has nothing to do with or nothing to say about what's going to be viewed in the browser. The purpose of this is to allow us to put text, to put comments in our code. It can be things to help make the code more understandable. In this case, it looks like a reminder that this is a pretty lame heading, and I ought to find a better phrase for that. The comments start with those 4 characters in that order and end with those. So this will be an element. This is a tag, but it is not an element. And that's the only thing in there that isn't. So we know what the elements are, and we can diagram them out. I mean, I have this is an element, this here is an element. It might be easier if we look at this diagram here. We circled these singleton elements, and then where we have an element with paired tags that just goes horizontally, I use that to mark them. So there's the title element, there's the heading element, and then when we have things that move vertically, then I put braces this way. And so you can see that this paragraph comes and ends right there. This one starts, comes on down, and ends right here. You can see the body, you can see the head, and you can see the HTML element. So that shows us the elements. We also talk about elements having parents and children. And it's based on the simple idea that the parent of an element is the nearest enclosing element. That is the nearest element that encloses it, that contains it. Now the HTML element contains everything, but it's not the closest thing. If you look at this BR, the closest thing that envelops it or that encloses it is this paragraph. So this BR would be the child of this paragraph. This paragraph would be the parent of this break element right here. And I've written this out so you can see that HTML has 2 children, head and body, and that's always the case. The head has 2 elements, has 2 children, meta and title, as you can see there. The body has 4 elements. It has this heading element, it has this pre element, it has this paragraph, and it has this paragraph. So that's how we get those. You notice that the first paragraph has 2 breaks in it, so it's the parent of those 2 breaks, or these 2 breaks are its children. And the second paragraph has the horizontal rule, and so that's its child. And that's really all there is to elements, at least to identifying them.